Hi everyone, welcome back to Elgrey Books. I'm Ellie. Today I'm doing the mid-year book freakout tag for 2020. So I actually co-created this tag with Chami back in, I think it was like 2011 or so. We had a book blog together at the time called A Book So Fathomless, and we started it on there, and then it kind of spread to BookTube, and it's kind of become a lot bigger than either of us anticipated. This year I'm actually on time, maybe even a little bit earlier than usual. I usually kind of throw this together towards the end of July when I panic and I realize that lots of people have already done it and I haven't. But I'm organised this year, so we're going to start. There are 14 questions, and yeah, we're just going to go through them. So question number 1 is best book you've read so far in 2020. I went with There Was Still Love by Fable Perret. This is a kind of quiet and unassuming work. It was nominated for the Stella Prize this year, and it's mostly about grandparents and the impact that they have on our lives. It follows 2 different sets of grandparents, one here in Melbourne in 1980, and then the sister of that grandma in Prague, also in 1980. And it's also, I guess, kind of a little bit about family relations in general. We get to see the sister relationship there as well, and the relationship they have with their grandchildren. And it's just a really beautiful work, and I love it so much. Question number 2 is best sequel you've read so far in 2020. And I, of course, had to go with Heartstopper Volume 3 by Alice Oseman. I love this series. I'm sure you all know what it's about. It's a graphic novel that follows Nick and Charlie, who were minor characters in Alice Oseman's first book, Solitaire. And this is, of course, the graphic novel of their relationship and their friendships and all those sorts of things that go along with being a teenager. And yeah, I love this one. I think Volume 3 is maybe my favourite so far. I'm not sure, because I feel like every time a new volume of this comes out, that one's my favourite. So yes, number 3 is new release you haven't read yet. And I've got quite a few, but I'm going with Girls with Razor Hearts by Suzanne Young. This is the sequel to Girls with Sharp Sticks, which I loved and was one of my favourite books of last year. And I just got this kind of recently. I'm really excited for it, but I want to reread the first one before I get to this one, because I can't remember. I can remember kind of how it ends, but I can't remember the middle part of how we got to that. And yeah, this is kind of a dystopian series, kind of where these girls are in a facility, and you don't really know why, and yeah, you obviously find out in the first book, and I'm not going to spoil it. Number 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and I have 2. I have Camelot Betrayal by Kirsten White, which is the sequel to the Guinevere Deception, which again was one of my favourite books last year. And then I also have The Art of Saving the World by Corinne DeVis. I can't remember, I'm pretty sure Camelot Betrayal comes out in November. I can't remember about this one, but it's sci-fi and it has something to do with clones. And Corinne DeVis she writes disability representation as an own voices author. I really loved her book On the Edge of Gone. I wrote my honours thesis partly on it, and the representation of disability, and I'm really, really excited for this one, so can't wait for that one to come out. Number 5 is Biggest Disappointment. I'm going with The Book of Lies by James Maloney. I tried to reread this just this month, and this was one of my favourite books of a couple of years ago, and I really loved it, and I read it this time and I hated it. It was not good at all. And yeah, I'm really sad about it because I really loved it that first time, and I had reread it in preparation for finally continuing the series, and then I couldn't even finish this one. So yeah. Number 6 is Biggest Surprise, and I'm going with How We Disappeared by Jing Lee. I should check that. Yes, Jing Lee. I read this one as part of the Women's Prize. I listened to it on audiobook, and I'm not usually an audiobook listener, but I loved it. And I kind of went into this one having absolutely no expectations. I'd never heard of it before, and I wasn't really sure whether I was going to like it. And yeah, I turned out to absolutely love it, and it's one of my favourite books of the year. Number 7 is Favourite New Author, which can either be a debut or it can just be a new to you author. And I'm going with Angie Cruz, who wrote Dominicana. I've only read this one from her, but I do have her others on the way. And I just love this so much that I am already considering her a favourite author. Oh, bit of fluff. So I'm really excited to pick up her other works. Again, I read this as part of the Women's Prize. So clearly the Women's Prize and I were just like always meant to get along. Question 8 is Newest Fictional Crush. I know I've said this in the past, if you're someone who doesn't develop crushes on fictional characters, or if I feel like this is a very YA centric question, you can skip this question, you can reword it in some way that you'd like. I am including this one with question 9, which is your newest favourite character, and I'm just going with Percy being adorable and just like everyone from Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. I love these characters just so much. My favourites are kind of the main 4, being James, Cordelia, Matthew, and Lucy. Bye. And I just love all of them, and they're just all so great that yeah, I just had to put them on this list. Question number 10 is book that made you cry, and I cry at everything. So I have 2 here. Speaking of the Women's Prize, I have Red at the Bone by Jacqueline Woodson. This is such a short little book, and again, kind of like There Was Still Love, this is very like quiet and unassuming, and like everything was going great until I was like bawling my eyes out at the end. So definitely made me cry. And on a similar note, I have When One Person Dies, The World Is Over by Mandy Ord. This was also another read for the Stella Prize, and this is the same thing where it was like cool, and I was like, you know, it talks about depression and some kind of tough subjects, and I was like, oh yeah, this is still kind of cool. And then I got to like the last few pages and I was a sobbing mess, and I literally cried for a good like half an hour solidly after finishing this, and I like the kind of like sobbing where like I couldn't see anything through my tears, and yeah, I wasn't expecting this one to do that to me. And then switching it, we have question 11, which is book that made you happy. Again, I could have gone for like a genre of this, but I went with Scandal in Spring. This is not Scandal in Spring. This is Devil in Winter. Okay, see, this is why you should look over the books before you pick them up. I just like saw this, was like, oh, it's Lisa Kleypas. That's the one I want. Okay, we're just gonna go with Devil in Winter and Scandal in Spring, which are books 3 and 4 in the Wallflowers series. This it's historical romance. It makes me happy and I love it. So, that's that. Number 12 is Most Beautiful Book You've Bought or Received so far this year. I had a couple for this, but I'm gonna go with The Grief Keeper by Alexandra Villasente. I haven't read this one yet, but it is just a gorgeous cover. It's, yeah, all these like flowers in the jacket and up here, and it's just gorgeous. And it's pretty simple, like underneath it's just white, it's red, but like it even has pretty like inside flaps with the design on there, and even on the back here and the spine, and it's just gorgeous. So that's my pick. Number 13 is the last bookish question, and that is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And every single year I say the same thing, which is so many of them. But I picked out 3 really big ones on my shelf that I've kind of been putting off, and I am going to read them this year. Here we go. We have Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. All of these are pretty popular ones, so I'm not really going to talk too much about them, but yeah, I started this one like January last year, read a bit of it, put it down. I love this story, but yes, we'll be getting back to that one. And then I have The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. Again, you know, they're all chunky books. I've had this one since 2015, so need to get to that. And then of course we have The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon, which I again started towards the end of last year and read 124 pages of it and then didn't continue. I'm thinking of getting myself the audiobook for this one, because my main problem is that it's so heavy that it, like, I have very small dainty wrists and I get a lot of pain in my hands, and it's just like, it's hard to hold and it hurts. So I think I'm gonna go with the audiobook for that one. And then question 14, which is the last question and the best one, is favourite book community member. I like to mention a couple of people. You can mention 1 or 2, it's up to you. This year I kind of have broken it down into people that are kind of new to me, people that I've been watching for a little while, and then people I've been watching for ages. So starting with the new people, we have Faye from Mr. Date with a Book. I really love her videos. She's very upbeat and sweet, and it's just, her videos make me feel relaxed. And then we have Kat from Brews and Reviews. I think she's really funny and I just really enjoy her videos. We have Danny from Spinelli Speaks, who I just found reasonably recently. But again, she's just really sweet and her videos make me really happy. We have Laura from Laura Reads Pages, whose videos are just always really intelligent and interesting and different to the sorts of things that I see other people do and the kind of videos that I tend to gravitate towards. So I really like seeing hers for something a little bit different, and she reads things that are quite different from the things that I read. So I really enjoy that as well. And then someone that I literally just found the other day is Lauren from Reading with Macabre. I really like her videos. I really like her ones that she's been doing, kind of like her best books of each month. Again, she reads quite different things to me, but a couple of books that I've been really interested in, or ones that I've read in the past that I've really loved. And she's very new to BookTube, but I've been really enjoying her videos. And then going into people I've been watching for a little while, we have Cara from Wild Book Garden, and I've been watching her maybe for a year and a half or so, and I really like her videos. And she also has hosted quite a few amazing readathons that I've joined in on. Like she did the 6th readathon and the I can't remember the name of it, but it was like the musical readathon, and that was a lot of fun, so I really enjoy those. Also Mara from Books Like Woe. She's probably one of my favourite booktubers ever. I really like her videos. She does a lot of really interesting things, and she reads, again, quite different things to what I read, but she's also a fan of Agatha Christie. So obviously I enjoy that, and I started watching her for those videos, and then I just really enjoy how she sets her videos out. She clearly puts a lot of work into them, and I really like seeing that. And then to the people that have been watching for a really long time, we have, of course, Kat from Stars and Embers, who I feel like I talk about so much, but she's just so underrated. I can't even explain how much work she puts into her videos. Like, they're just crazy. Her bookstagram is amazing as well. She just is so dedicated and passionate about her channels and her Instagram, and it just makes me really happy. And she's also a really nice person, and she likes tea, so you know that she's smart too, clearly. And then finally, actually the very first person I ever watched on BookTube was Amber from Books of Amber, and I thought I would just mention her because I think she just made 3,000 subscribers the other day or something like that, and I just really love her videos, and I really like how detailed her videos are. And again, she reads different things to me. A lot of these people read a lot of fantasy, and while I read fantasy, it's not so often anymore. But yeah, I really love how Amber discusses books and the detail that she goes into them. And yeah, I've been watching her ever since I discovered BookTube, which I think must have been, I don't know, maybe 8 or so years now. But yes, I really love her videos. I really love all of their videos, and I would highly recommend all of them. And of course, I will link all of them below. And of course, I have to give a shout out to a blogger, and that blogger is, of course, my best friend Angel from Angel Reads, because she will always and forever be my favorite book community member, and the only reason that I'm still here. So thank you, Angel, for being my best friend and introducing me to so many books, and you know, just being my friend and eating food with me and complaining about medical issues. But yeah, there we are. That's the mid-year book freakout for this year. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that I will see some of you joining in, and thanks again. And I will see you all in a couple of days' time. Bye!